the way that you do your artwork on like your B-roll and things like that, is that an overlay? Is it an art? Because it looks like it's been drawn. It's very cool.
So it's a process. I use Photoshop to my advantage.
Okay.
With that. Yeah, but I also use After Effects. So it's a combination using After Effects. You apply an overlay on After Effects on the video, and then you import it as a video into a clip into Photoshop. And then I'm able to go through a process of really kind of converting the entire video into what's a smart object, so that the entire video, that little clip of whatever it is I'm using gets impacted by whatever change I'm making. That was actually one of my challenges at first, because before I discovered that I had to convert it to a smart object, I was having to go frame by frame to apply the effect. No. And it was so time consuming.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's gotta be an easier way for me to get the same result.
Yeah.
And then there was a program I was looking at, and I was like, but that doesn't have the same art style. That's not got the same vibe. I get this accomplished. This looks like a knockoff. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then my friend's like, well, when you're trying to do something in a picture, sometimes you have to convert the picture to a smart object so that
there you go.
So that it's impacting not the rest. It's like, why don't you convert it and try? So I tried it, and I was like, oh wow. So as long as I take whatever clip it is, I convert that to a smart object, no matter what I do to the photo, it's gonna, or the video clip, it's gonna make it across the entire clip. Nice. So that saved me eons of time.
I bet, yeah. That's so cool. I love that. I love that art style. It just reminds me of kind of like, it looks like it's been drawn. It just adds so much like to it. It's just very, very cool. I love the way. And do you write the script yourself, or do you use AI generated? Or
I'm not a big fan of having AI do all the work for me. As a matter of fact, I feel like if I have AI write the script, it's not my voice, it's not my personality. So what I might use it for AI for is to help me with an outline.
Yeah.
And then I use that outline and I go and do my research, and then I write my script. But I don't use it to write my script for me.
I agree with that.
You brought that up in a previous interview that we did, and I wanted to kind of discuss that with you and let you kind of elaborate on your feelings towards AI. But as well as you, I'd like to hear from your son what his thoughts are about AI too. So both of you.
Let's let him chime in first, because he'll be quiet if we don't have him talk.
With AI, I come from the side of it with art. As I draw it, I see AI with art as not a good thing. It's taking over a field where we're going to be losing work. Because AI is taking our images and copying them and learning our art styles. And it makes it hard.
On the flip side with that though, like there has to be artists. The AI works strictly from search engines and coding and all that kind of stuff. People need to be creative in order for it to continue to work. So if there's no artistry, there's no imagination, the AI has got nothing to copy from. You know what I mean? Like, it should, I feel like it can work in some ways. Like I'm a strong advocate against it. I don't use it. I do everything myself because like Doug said, it takes away your voice. It takes away your originality, your kind of like conversation that you're trying to convey through a video or through a thumbnail or whatever else. But like I can see if people want to use it, fair. People want to use it, fair. But people need to be creative in order for it to work as well. And if people are not being creative, then it's just gonna stop. It's not gonna have nothing to grasp its answers from, so to speak.
And I'm guilty of using AI when it comes to my thumbnails. Since I'm not extremely artistic, I have artistic vision. I see something in my head, like you say, Zach. It's creative, but I don't have the skill set to my handshake or whether to do the design that I want necessarily, like a full scale thumbnail. So, but I do know, hey, I want dramatic lighting. I want it to look like it's paper cut, like lino cut, or beveled, or I can tell, like, I want it shot from above, or
Yeah.
I want it photorealistic, or I want it to look like this art style instead. That's all part of the creative process. So you're not just in that respect, like you said, you're still part of the creative process because you're having to give it all these details.
Yeah.
And the concept of the picture is still yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it helps render it. Now, sometimes what I'll do when I'm making thumbnails for darker things is it'll render something and I'm still gonna go and I'm gonna change it.
Yeah.
It's gonna help me with like something base. But I'll still go in and completely change it and make it my own afterwards. But it gives me something to work with. Kind of like clay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're given the clay, and it's someone has some kind of mold, and you come in and you're kind of trimming things off and putting the fine detail. That's what I kind of do with my thumbnails. So I like that you said that. You gotta be creative with it.
Yeah.
Being someone who's an artist, more of a performance artist than anything else, but now I find this medium of editing videos has given me another outlet.
Yeah.
You have to be true.
Of course.
And so I think if you rely solely on AI, to be honest, I think people want a connection with people.
Yeah, of course.
And people, if you come across non-genuine or like you're just reading from a script and there's no passion or no personality, people aren't going to connect with that.
Exactly.
And people are going to tune out. So I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, use it for my outlines, help with my thumbnails. And one thing I have used it for in a couple videos is virtual set.
All right.
So I had a David Koresh video where I was, it was a virtual library. There was a bookcase in the back of me.
Yeah.
I had a picture of David Koresh and
nice
timeline type thing. That, you know what I mean? But other than that, I haven't really used a whole lot of AI, except for, like I said, the whole eye contact thing in the script. That's a form of AI.
Yeah.
And again, that's not taken away from creativity, or I think that's just kind of a cute little cheat. It helps me read.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. I mean, I personally I don't use it, but like you say, I can see people getting the ideas, like you say, getting the outlines and then making it your own. If you've got the, like you say, you've got to put the ideas in to get it out. But
yeah, even with my outlines, I say, help me create an outline covering John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
Focus on his childhood, his estranged relationship with his father, feeling like he proved himself to his father all the time.
Yeah.
And his mother being an enabler, and his trouble with the law as a child or early teenage, and I'm giving it lots of details to help me research.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Kind of doing the outline too, but it's better if I do it that way, and then it puts it in a linear form for me.
Yeah.
Because I'll be off into the races. I kind of have ADHD when it comes to things, so if I don't have a linear path, I'll be like, well, John Wayne Gacy, and I told him don't talk about his child, and then I up all the way to his suggestions. Like, well, wait a minute, where was the middle?
Yeah, 100%. Fallon's just said, a script can help clear up your thoughts for sure. If you don't believe what you were saying, other people can read that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it goes back to what I was saying. People want to connect with you.
Yeah.
You're going to come across as disingenuous.
Yeah, very true.
If it's not your words. So if all I was doing was reading from something that was totally scripted, and I didn't write the script, it's going to come across fake.
Also,
100%.
If you don't actually have any love for the project that you're making, it's going to come off fake.
Yeah, that's it. And I can attest to that. This, hands down, this is my 4th channel that I've done. Disney Magic, it's the 4th channel, and the only reason is because I get so involved that I'm like, right, people need to know what I'm doing 24 hours a day. People need to know all my hobbies. People need to know da 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 da. And it's like, no, nobody needs to know. You need time for yourself. You need time to do what you're doing. I never scripted a video like previous to this channel. I think, and I tell a lie, I think I did it like twice on my original channel, and you could tell I was reading from a script because I was looking at the screen. I was like, ugh. But like now, you can still tell I'm reading from a script a little bit. I'm getting a little bit better with it, but like, I make the script, I outline it. The passion is there because obviously I'm a huge Disney fan. Like, I could talk about Disney for hours and hours and hours, and it's clearly obvious. I have a podcast with over 16 hours worth of videos, including the videos as well, like probably like over 100 hours of content there, maybe, and more. Roger's streams that I've been on previously, most of them have always come somewhat circled to Disney with like stuff like that. But like, you've got to be interested in what you're doing. If you're just doing it for the sake of it, like they always say, YouTube is a hobby and it's a passion. If you want to do it, you've got to have that passion. You've got to have that that gumption to do it. And if you're just doing it for the sake of it, if you're just doing it for fuck it, I'm gonna start YouTube just because I'm bored, people are gonna see that.
Yeah.
Like if you've not got the motivation or the determination to, if you're doing it for money, like I feel like a lot of people now, like a few people that I've spoken to in the past are like, why are you doing YouTube channels? They were like, oh, I want to make money from it. I'm like, that's not the reason why you start it. It's not the reason. Like, you start it because you're passionate about it. Yeah, like you're passionate about gaming. You're passionate about talking about like some of the most disturbed minds in history. Like if that's something that you can feel yourself talk hours and hours and hours about, and you're passionate about it, do it. Like I feel like videos nowadays and things like that, and I can attest to this. Like if you were just to make like probably a raw unedited video and just upload that, I mean, maybe it'll do well, but it's the editing, it's the story. Like through editing, I feel like you're telling the story more than you would do just recording it. Like, do you agree with that, or?
I do. I'm in complete agreement with you. Like, and it comes back to that being genuine.
Yeah.
And that you can't do something just money can't be the only motivator.
Yeah.
Getting back to kind of what wanting to add on to that, I would advise anybody who's thinking about becoming a YouTuber, you better be ready to be your biggest fan.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay? You gotta be your biggest fan. You gotta give yourself the pats on the back, because even people you think would care about the work that you're doing,
yeah,
they might support you, and they want to see you do well, but they don't want to watch your video. They're not going to look.
Yeah.
So I think for me that was actually
hold on a minute. I want your son's take on that. What your dad just said. What do you feel about that?
Well, I've talked to my friends about them trying to help watch my channel, and with my feelings towards it. It's true. You have to be your biggest fan, because if you're not, like, my biggest motivator to do videos pretty much anymore is myself.
Right.
I have to be behind myself to actually put out that effort and have that goal in mind that I want to do this. It's not because I don't.
Now, see, that is an important question right there, because I get annoyed with YouTube because of certain things they did, like in their creator studio. Whenever they would come out with the best way to freaking do a YouTube channel, they would always suggest, oh, go to your friends, get your family, and and
it doesn't work.
It does not work. It's that is the worst advice anybody could ever tell you. You know what I mean? And
it might have worked years ago, like when PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, when they were all starting up 10 plus years ago. But nowadays, even though it's more well known. Like I tell people at work, like, yeah, they're like, what are you doing for the weekend? Oh, I'm recording an episode of my podcast. I was like, oh, you do a podcast? So I was like, yeah, feel free to check it out. People are like, yeah, send me the link. They never check it out. They don't, because they're like, oh, we'll send that moral support in a sense.